Hello, friends, and welcome to the What's Update. My name is Elijah, and this is my spoiler-full take on the Guardians of the Galaxy. So if you happen to click on this video by accident, I'm going to talk just for a little bit so that you can get away from the spoilers, because I'm going to talk about everything that happens in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Okay, this is your last warning. This is your chance. You can get away. You can run, you can leave, you can hide. Okay, now we're going to get into it. So, let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I love the movie. On my spoiler-free take, I went over some things, some general stuff. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I really like the movie. I think it's awesome. But I want to dig into, some of the things that actually happen in this movie, that what they mean to the larger Marvel universe, and just questions and concerns that we may have, things I loved, things I didn't love. So let's talk about all the good and the bad, and the happy and the sad that was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Boom. Alright, so a lot of people always say Marvel has villains problem. I really appreciated the villains in this movie, and they were wide and ranging. You had the Ravagers, you had Ego. We didn't know Ego was baddie, and then you have the Sovereign. So let's start with the Sovereign. The Sovereign, gold people. I loved their makeup. I thought that they were very interesting. Their Pac-Man arcade style of fighting people and not actually risking their own citizens' lives was really interesting. That they're perfectly genetically modified or created, each person for a purpose, or they're perfect. That's a very interesting concept and idea, and I liked their Pac-Man-y stuff. I loved the disco vibe that came around anytime they were there. When they made fun of Taserface on the monitors, that was great. I was just a big fan of the Sovereign. I thought they were cool. The whole rolling out the carpet thing and then it stopping and then rolling it out to get to Yondu. Goofy, great. And that's kind of one of the things about these space operas, or these about Guardians. Like Star Wars is the serious space. Like it's lived in, it's dirty, it's grungy. It's important. Like everything that's happening in Star Wars is like, oh snap, the galaxy's at stake, yo. In Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like, hey, this goofy nonsense is happening, but also the galaxy's at stake. But also we have time to like roll out this carpet and like it gets stuck. So I like the Sovereign. I thought they were cool. Ravagers, led by Taserface, having that mutiny there. That was all sad that Yondu's entire homies got iced out, and the Ravagers, basically his Ravager clan, got kind of destroyed. That was sad. But they were good enough villains, fodder for Rocket to fight, and an interesting middle part of the movie, the comedy that comes from Groot doing trying to get the fin. Trying to get the fin. That was a great scene, and then Yondu just wrecking them to was it Mr. Blue Sky? No, that was the first song. But Yondu just wrecking them, and then like having like when it was like the do and like the freaking arrows flying around, and the way that they're just murdering all those dudes. That was pretty funny. Well, the murder's not funny, but you get Baby Groot to get his revenge by throwing that guy off the railing, and it was just I liked it. That they're a good fodder mid movie villain to have. But the ultimate villain of the movie is Ego, the Living Planet, Peter Quill's father, and he was cool. I liked the whole vibe. I liked that they showed the planet from afar with the face on it. I liked when he was like the lightning ghost thing and Mantis put him to sleep. I liked anytime he got like shot and like his body, like his framework was being shown. A lot of people have, like, the internet is just asking like weird questions about this movie that I disagree with, and I'll get into some of those. But the fact that Ego told Peter that he killed the mom, I think that was just a mess up, a slip. I mean, his name is Ego, and he's pretty full of himself. He wants the whole universe to be him. So I don't think that was a. They're like, why would he say that? Like he knew that would make Peter mad. Like he's a god. He doesn't care about those kind of things. He just says it to say it. And his master plan, going to every planet and impregnating aliens of all different races and creeds and making them carry his baby until one of them has the celestial gene. Pretty wonky plan there. Pretty crazy plan. I dig it. That was just it was just so interesting. Like just his whole vibe and him singing the song about the sea. Like I liked Ego. I liked Kurt Russell just as an actor, and I liked everything that was happening with that. The way he wanted to use Peter as a battery, the catch moment they had together, that made me cry. Anytime dad stuff happens in movies, I get messed up. But that was good stuff. I don't know. He that cavern of dead children bodies he had was crazy. It's interesting because people say that Marvel has bad villains, and I thought Kurt Russell was fine for the screen time he had, for what he could do. I thought it was awesome, the fight that they had when he's flying at him with like the whole rocks around it, and Peter comes with the Pac-Man. Like that was dope. That moment when he's like, and felt so bad to put that tumor in your mom's head. And he's just like, what? You killed my mother? I like that the way it looked, like pieces of him coming up and him rebuilding himself. I thought that was very interesting, and him transforming into David Hasselhoff was hilarium to the maximum. Some good stuff. And then just like, yeah, it was a solid plan, as a solid villain. I thought he got the right amount of screen time for what needed to happen in the movie. So I want to talk about next some of like the plot holes and some of the Easter eggs and things like that, and then we'll get into some more questions. Eternity, people are saying that when Peter had his brain touched by Kurt Russell's character Ego, that when he says eternity, that they are bringing in the maker of the Celestials, Eternity. So maybe that's a thing in Guardians 3 or something that comes up in Infinity War. They wouldn't have dropped that for it to not mean something later. I've seen websites say that there's a plot hole with the fact that if this movie takes place 3 months after the first Guardians, and I don't know where that was said. I hope that's not the case. I hope it was like 8 to 9 months or a year or 2 years after the first Guardians. That'd be cool. But if it is the case and it's about 3 months after the first Guardians, they were saying that there's a concern that why didn't Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Avengers or any of the Avengers movies address the goop covering? It's like it covered a small town and it ultimately didn't take over the planet. So maybe it is the thing that lets Tony Stark know that there is another power out there that tried to attack the world, and maybe he traces that energy signature and finds Peter Quill. Like, maybe that's what it is. But they're like, why didn't Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and this address it? And I'm just like, I don't know. And then they were talking about plot holes with why was Nebula there? Why did she need the batteries? I was like, well, she wanted to steal the batteries to either get the money or to use them to blow up Thanos, probably. So why are you even asking that question? What a dumb question, Internet. So I'm not trying to crap on people's intelligence, but I know they're asking these questions. I was like, I thought that was pretty implied in the movie, guys. Like, and they have complaints about Ego, like being like, and that's why I put that tumor in your mom's head. I just think that he's arrogant. He's a god. He's a Celestial, and so he just said it because that was the truth, and he thought he already had Peter after showing him eternity and his purpose. So there's that. Let's go ahead and talk about one of the. So besides villain problems, people say the Marvel movies have this sense of they can't do too much because they got to set up the next one, but they still got to like try and move the goalpost a little forward and have that next week on Marvel vibe. Like, oh, this one I really feel like of all the movies that have come out recently has been the one that has actually changed the universe the most, at least for these characters, not for all of Marvel, like Civil War did, but for these characters specifically. The emotional growth of Rocket. Making him realize he is like Yondu and the people didn't leave him in the end. The literal growth for Groot from baby to teenager, that after credit scene was hilarious. And we'll get into all the after credit scenes, but that little growth there. The growth between Gamora and Nebula to actually be friends, be sisters, and understand that Nebula wanted a sister and Gamora wasn't there for her, and there's that mutual respect now. Repairing that relationship is great. Peter Quill no longer being a immortal celestial god and realizing who his real father was that he had this whole time. And then, of course, Drax, he didn't really grow too much. I think at the end maybe he kind of had some affection for Mantis, but just more Drax being with them and like the whole thing, like welcome to the Guardians of the freaking Galaxy line, the we're a family stuff, the like where's Quill, like, and just all that stuff. It's like these guys care about each other, like they're actually a family. And in the Avengers, the family broke apart, and it's gonna be cool to see the Avengers or parts of the Avengers that go into space in Infinity War, I'd imagine, come up against this team that is actually stronger now together. And I don't think you're gonna see any splintering between the Guardians anymore because they are a solid foundation. And in both Infinity Wars, I think that'll be probably one of the crux things about the movies, that those five together are so strong and they believe in each other and they're dependent. Like maybe Guardians 3 breaks them up again or does something where they've been apart for a while, but definitely in Infinity War, you're going to have a united front from these characters, and I think, or at least I hope. I've heard someone say that the next, or that Guardians 3, Infinity War is going to take place 5 years after Guardians 2, and then Guardians 3 is before Infinity War. So I don't know if that's going to actually be the case, but that'd be weird if Guardians 2 happened and then Guardians 3 happens, but then Infinity War is still after that. It's just weird that they said that Infinity War is going to take place 5 years after Guardians. So I'm just I don't know if that's true. I'm gonna have to read more on that. So if you just joined, this is a spoiler-full take on Guardians of the Galaxy. So if you don't want spoilers on the entirety of the movie, please stop watching. But that's okay, because now I'm gonna spoil the whole movie because I'm a super spoily parts. So I did cry multiple times, and I've seen the movie twice, and I've cried both times I've seen it. And it's mostly because of the dad stuff that messes me up. But I cried the first time a little harder, and the second time I only cried like twice. And the parts that definitely get me are, of course, the Yondu stuff, and then when Rocket's like, "Welcome to the frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy," like that just gets me because it's like, yo, you're a part of the team, you're with us, you're the squad, you're the family now. And I love what they do with Yondu, and the crazy thing is that Marvel didn't even want Rooker to be Yondu. That was not the first choice, and James Gunn fought for Rooker to be Yondu. And Yondu is a solid hella character, and he's amazingly fantastic and fun. And he was like the secret MVP or the glue guy, the person coming off the bench in both movies. And it's just sad what happens to him. It means the most in these movies for Peter, and it's very important, I think, for Peter's character for this to happen to him. And it's just really sad. I cried. The Mary Poppins line is so funny and so good. Like they did right by him. This was a proper send off. They gave him the spotlight, the character growth. He helped Rocket grow. He did a lot in this movie, and I'm sad that he's gone. I really enjoyed him in the first movie and his tiny small bursts of fun, and in this movie they gave him some spotlight, some shine, and he really got the appreciation and love that he deserved. So I'm pretty happy about his send-off. I'm pretty happy with the Ravager stuff at the end. I'm pretty happy about just all of Yondu, him getting the prototype fin and it being bigger, his buddy coming back to rescue him essentially, and that's James Gunn's brother, I think. But like having the fin in the end and trying to use the whistle, it's all good stuff there. But yeah, I cried. I cried both times I watched the movie, and it meant a lot to me, what was happening there. Let's talk about the Stan Lee cameo, because Stan Lee is dope, and I like them winking at the fans, and the fans having that theory that Stan Lee was a watcher. I love the idea that they just winked at that, and they're like, yeah, guys, he's hanging out with the Watchers. Is he a Watcher? He might be, but I love the fact that they wink at that, and then the super after credit scene was him just being like, guys, come back, we're friends, and that we actually get to see a Watcher in the MCU. That's the first time we've seen one. They looked fine. They looked right to me. I think that's really cool. Let's talk a little bit more about those after credit scenes now, because that was, I mean, there were quite a few of them. There were 5, the most after credit scenes in any movie in the history of movies, right? Is it the most? There's the whistle one, that was silly. The Groot one being a teenager, that was goofy. So I guess probably, see, but in Infinity War, if it's 5 years after Guardians 2 / where 3 is, if 3 is before Infinity War, then we'll probably have Groot full grown, maybe, and then Guardians 3 will have preteen Groot going through his angst phase. I am in on that. If Guardians 3 or the next time we see Groot, he's in preteen angst phase, I'm all down with preteen angst Groot. That makes me very happy, actually. So I think the after credit scenes that people will be talking about most will probably be the either the original Guardians team being shown, because James Gunn has said after Guardians 3, you will probably see a very different Guardians team. And that could mean that they're going to bring Stallone in to be Stakar or Starhawk or whatever his name is, and they'll do the original Guardians, because like one of those people had like Doctor Strange sorcery powers, and I don't know all these characters, but one of them was Miley Cyrus, which was weird. One of them, yeah, she was just the voice, but I was just like, what, Miley Cyrus? What is happening here? Disney, what are you doing? Did she just like need some money? And she was like, yo guys, I need an advance, and they were like, we got you, Miley, because you know where all the bodies are buried. So maybe that was it. I don't know. I don't know why she was in that. So either people will be talking most about the Guardians, the original Guardians team being shown, and that maybe they get their own spin-off movie or their Guardians 4 or something like that. Or maybe this is the original Guardians, I guess. Or the other after credit scene that people will be talking about most is Adam Warlock. So does this mean that they showed this so that Adam Warlock can be in Infinity War and us not question it and be like, oh, yeah, we saw those Sovereign people make him? Or is this going to be a Guardians 3 thing? I could see Guardians 3 having a lot to do with Eternity and Adam Warlock and one of the stones. It's just weird that Infinity War's after all this, supposedly. We're going to have to get more clarification on that, but that's what the internet tells me. That Guardians 2 is 3 months after Guardians 1, and that Guardians 3 will be after Guardians 2, but before Infinity War, which seems like an odd choice to me. But hey, who am I? Who am I to judge the timeline? I've enjoyed it thus far. It just seems the way to make the most plot holes, but that's fine. But Adam Warlock, exciting. Not comfort. I mean, it's pretty. Yeah, it's Adam Warlock. And she's like, I shall call him Adam. And they had that thing in the Cocoon in the first movie that people thought was Adam Warlock, but this is definitely not Adam Warlock. Cocoon, it's Adam Warlock, cyborg Adam Warlock. So, or at least in a like metal chamber, not in a cocoon. So, could he have the Soul Stone with him? I doubt it, because he's being made. But I just wonder if we're going to see Adam Warlock in Guardians 3, or if we will see him in Infinity War. My guess would be Infinity War because of how Adam Warlock is tied into that whole Thanos-y gauntlet nonsense. And if I had to guess, I believe Matthew McConaughey will be Adam Warlock. That's just my guess. I've never seen it online or heard it anywhere, but if you can lock up Matthew McConaughey to be a villain in one movie / hero, you get he in my brain. I'm just like, yeah, that's Adam Warlock. Just make McConaughey Adam Warlock. Why not? Just make he's him. He's the guy. That's a good get, Marvel. Just do that. So I do just want to say some final things on because Nebula's not really a newcomer, but we got more characterization for her in this one, and I really liked how deep they went with her and how like just that she had some depth to her. That like it wasn't just like, yo, I'm just gonna kill you because I'm insane. Like she was like, I got replaced. My parts got replaced every time you beat me, and I just wanted a sister. And like I was like, oh, this is rough. This is like Anna and Elsa like repairing their sisterly relationship and realizing they don't need a prince to save them and doing it on their own damn self. Like, but this is like Gamora and like Nebula. Like I hope the same thing happens. And I just want to see Anna and Elsa and Gamora and Nebula hanging out in the same bar, just being like, we the Bad Girls Club. Boom, boom. Let's do the reality show. Oh, who run the world, girls? Like that's what I want to see out of the four of them. Yeah, I will be very happy if the ultimate thing that takes down Thanos is Nebula and Gamora together, and it's not even a man. It's like Captain America, Iron Man. They done got messed up already. Freaking Hulk is smashed, and like Thor is unworthy, and then it's just Nebula and Gamora. They're like, yo, Dad, Slice, Dad, you ain't got no gauntlet, son. We chopped off your whole arm, and he's like, no, I can't do it. Adam Warlock, zoom, say it like steals it. I don't know. That man, that got out of hand real quick. Mantis. Excellent addition. She's amazing. Hilarious throughout the whole movie. She had this weird vibe. Her eyes were crazy. Her powers were good. I just thought they did such a great job of like reflecting or like just showing you that this is going to be something later. Because on my second viewing, I was like, oh, they set this up by doing this. They did a great job of doing something and then that being actually used later in the film. I'd say that really the only jokes that didn't work for me, like the ripe joke, the with the fruit thing, because it's it's the comedy rule of threes, and he's like, it's not ripe, and Gamora's like, it's not ripe, and she's like, it's not ripe. And someone in my theater actually said it, because those are the people that are I don't want to say they're the worst, but when they're just like, when they like, we all know that was the line that was coming, but she like had to say it out loud before the actual character said it. I'm just like, pat yourself on the back, lady. And that was in my second screening, though, so it didn't ruin it for me the first time. But like, I love the movie, and I would say it's a solid 8 out of 10. Probably an 8.5 out of 10, actually, but I'm just say 8 out of 10 for now for me. Specifically, I would rank it pretty highly among the Marvel movies. It's definitely in the top 10, probably, for me. And it's just a good movie. It's a fun time at the cinema. See it with some people you love. See it with friends. Laugh, giggle together. Or if you're going to go see it alone, call me. I'll come hang out. I'll watch it again, because it bears repeating, that movie. It's fun. It's a good time. It's a laugh. It's a laugher. MVP of the movie, Yondu. And it's not close. People are going to be like, Drax, Baby Groot. Nah, they're whack in comparison to Yondu. Yondu's our one true hero. All right, guys, so that is my spoiler full review of Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you for watching the What's Update. My name's Elijah. You have a great Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's not beautiful outside, it's just sunny and fun. So keep smiling and subscribe to the channel. Links down below to do that. You can subscribe, you can like, you can share if you want. Do the thing, Julie's, if you're an Avatar fan. But other than that, thank you. Have a great day and keep smiling. Bye.